Listen, bear with me a second. I got to put my lip gloss on. I had a hair appointment, so give me a second. But come on in. Check into the light room. Welcome. Put my lip gloss on. Be right back. Y'all, first of all, y'all see my hair? Let's get into that. Let's get into that. But we're here. We're live. Mental Health Monday. Finances and Mental Health 2.0. Tonight we're going to talk about housing assistance. All right. So go ahead and check in with your green heart. You know how I go. Go ahead and share the live. Share it in your messenger. Share it in your family group text messages. Share it with somebody you know needs to hear this information about housing assistance. Section 8. I can't never remember if it's Section A or 8. But go ahead. Step into the light room. Check in with your green hearts. I see my mama is here. Welcome, Mary Brown. Welcome back to this side of the United. Hope you had a real good time. Check in with your green hearts. It's Monday. Hey, Auntie. I hope y'all have had a really great weekend. I've had a really great weekend. So I'm just happy to be here with y'all on this good Monday. Hey, Stancy. I was running Stancy and Monday all together. So I've had a really good weekend. And I even had a good Monday. Like I said, I had a hair appointment and we're not even finished. So all is well. Check in with your green hearts. Let us know that you are here. It is Mental Health Monday, Finances and Mental Health 2.0. And we're going to talk about housing, right? We know that there's a crisis. Some people have coupled up. Families have began living together. Some people have some people have become homeless. Some people have been living in places that they never thought they'd have to be in. So this is a problem. This is a crisis. But there's help, right? You know, we don't talk about problems in the light room without some type of solution. Barksdale. Hey, man, on one of them evaluations, somebody said they liked you. The folks said they enjoyed having you as a guest now. So you might have to come back through the light room, Barksdale. So, but yeah, people are in living situations that they never imagined they would be in. So it truly is a crisis. And I know last Monday, I had Mr. Brian Paris from here in San Antonio on the live talking about buying in a house, right? And let me tell you, I don't know about anybody else who listened, but those points that he made to help make the process less stressful, they were really great points. And I believe if you take those points that he gave us and apply those things, I ain't saying it ain't gonna be no stress, because listen, in this life, you're gonna have some stress. There is good stress and there's bad stress, right? So you're going to have some type of stress. But if you do the things that he mentioned, I'm ready to cancel this one and put... Not the man canceling folks' shows. He acting up because it's barely homecoming week. That's what I heard. Okay, the youth pastor is here. Okay, the youth pastor is here. But if we use those points that Brian gave us about buying a house, I do believe it could ease a lot of the mental stress. You know, that's anything. Buying a house, being in a relationship, new job, knowing what you're going into up front really helps makes the process more manageable. It helps you make decisions quicker on the front end before you get too invested. So the more you know, the more you should grow, and the better the process or the opportunity to make choices should be. But listen, this is Mental Health Monday, Finances and Mental Health 2.0. We got Mr. Barksdale up in here clowning because it's Valley Homecoming Week. We got the youth pastor in here acting funny. So, but everybody's here. Riri, I see you. Check in with your green hearts. Once my guest drops her green heart to let me know that she's in here, we can go ahead and get started. Because we want to talk about it. Listen. She's going to have the bulk of the knowledge, right? And what she does, I'm going to allow her to share this information for, again, anybody who's looking for housing. It may not be you. Okay, I think I see a picture. It may not be you, but it may be somebody you know who needs stable housing. Or it may not be you right now. You know what I'm saying? It may not be you right now. But to get this information, okay, gotcha. To get this information now, again, is valuable. Share the live. I hope you have questions. Comment, engage. with the comments. I mean, with the speaker. Ask her any questions you may have. Listen, that survey I keep asking y'all to do, that's for me to build for the next year or for the next coming Mental Health Mondays. Thank you to the 21 responses that I do have. I appreciate the valuable feedback. Right? I have read all of them, and I see topics, I see ways to go for the next set of Mental Health Mondays. So I am taking the feedback, but I need it from y'all who are listening, because when I open this space, God's design is always bigger than ours. I had no idea that we will still be doing this even to this day, but I'm so glad that we are. But I want to make sure that when you come on here and you give your hour of time, even if we lessen it, whatever time you give to this space, I want it to be wait a minute now. I want the space to be beneficial for you. Okay. And the only way for me to truly know what you need to talk about, because mental health is so broad. I mean, everybody on the planet has mental health, right? But when it comes to specific mental illnesses, now listen, disclaimer, I am not a mental health therapist. I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I cannot diagnose anybody with anything, right? But what I am is an advocate who has personal life experience from my own medical diagnosis. I am academically prepared, if you will. So my master's level training, as I call it, because my master's incomplete, is from Delta State with professional counseling. So I can't diagnose anybody, but the space that I create is a safe space, a healthy space, a resourceful space for you to be educated, empowered, and equipped. All right. So that's my disclaimer. You know why you're here. You know where you are. So go ahead and share the live. I'm going to go ahead and bring Taliah in. If you're looking for housing and you need assistance, you need to be on this live. You need to be on. You got family members who need housing, sustainable housing. They need to be on this live. She's going to be dropping the wisdom. She's going to be dropping the knowledge. So you will be educated. You will be empowered. And I know you're going to be equipped. So don't say nothing if you miss it, right? The replay, of course, is always available. But what's better than when you have her in this space right here, right now? For whatever questions you may have, you can ask her right here, right now. All right. So you know how we do in the light room. Again, go ahead and share the live. Hope you have questions. Comment in the put your questions and stuff in the comments. But I tell you how I met the guest. Listen, we're from the same area, right? We're both from Mississippi. We've been connected in a number of spaces, church spaces and a social media space. So that's how I know her. This is a serial entrepreneur. This lady has the ability to do many things, right? Some banging cakes out here. I haven't had one yet, so that needs to be on my list. But Taliah Brown is her name. If you don't know her, she's about to introduce herself, so she'll let you know how you need to know who she is. Go ahead and share the live so that people who need this information can have it. All right. So, somebody said they love your cakes, honey. See there? I ain't had it, but we got people that have had it. So what she's talking about tonight is not the only thing she knows something about. So y'all know. So Taliah, you can introduce yourself with whatever information you want to share with the Lightroom audience tonight. Y'all let me know if there's feedback, because I got them. Okay.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk about this program. I am Taliah Brown. I am a serial entrepreneur. That's what I'm being dubbed as lately. But I am the owner of Nasir Sweets and Treats. It's a custom cake company where I do custom cakes. I do catering, treats, all of those things. Some of you may know me as a former Mary Kay sales director. I used to be a Mary Kay sales director. I'm still in the Mary Kay business. I'm just not a sales director at this time. But I was the first African-American sales director to ever be in Cleveland, Mississippi, the first car earner in 28 years. And then I earned 2 free cars in 6 months. So from the multi-level marketing side or direct sales side, I understand that business. I also understand owning your own business. I also own a business called T Prepped It. They're still saying they have an echo. How can we fix the echo? Okay, they say it's better now. Okay,
My
gotcha.
bad, y'all.
So I own Tea Prepped It, which is a meal prep service where my customers can order meal prep from me, that I prep for them, where they can get 5 lunches, 5 dinners. I also offer breakfast as well. And then I also own a business called Above and Beyond Consultation. So under Above and Beyond Consultation is where I handle my Serve Safe classes, my nutrition consultations, any kind of contract work that falls under food. That's where I handle that kind of thing. Okay. I currently teach for the University of Monticello in McGee, Arkansas. I'm the chair of the hospitality and culinary department. I think this is my 4th or 5th semester there. And then I also, I've recently taken a full-time job. I'm the food service director for the West Tallahatchie School District. Yes, I'm the food service director for the West Tallahatchie School District in Webb, Mississippi. I'm the mom of 2 boys, Channing 15 and Joshua 5. Joshua is really 55, if you've ever met Joshua. But that is my life in a nutshell. Some days it can be very hectic. Some days it can be very smooth. But as an entrepreneur, I do believe that you must have balance, okay? So my new business venture that I have started is a loan processor for USDA loans. Okay. So I'm a loan packager for USDA loans. And so basically I work with the 502 loan and the 504. If you've caught any of my recent lives, I was talking about the 502 loan. I have a USDA home. I've been in my home 8 years. So from the homeowner side, I understand the process and what it takes to go through it. And I'm learning now the loan packager side. Okay. So if y'all have questions, I saw one question about it. So I'll answer you all's question as best as possible. Okay. So the construction loan is kind of what I did. You can use your 502 loan to either build or buy an existing home. So Mr. Barksdale, that's what I did. Okay. Now there are income guidelines for our area, to be based off of your income, based off of how many people are in your house, that kind of thing. And I do have a link on my website, which is TaliahBrown.com, where you can just book a consultation. What I want to do with that first consultation with everybody is first make sure that your income falls in the guidelines, okay? If you're over the guidelines, there is something called a 504 guaranteed loan, okay? Let me go back to the 502. So the 502 loan, your credit score has to be in between a 575 and a 640. Okay. 640 is ideal, but that 575 does give us some room where we can kind of work, maneuver, and handle some things for you. Okay. On the paperwork side. Okay. Right now in Mississippi, the most you can get approved for is like 336,000. Yes, okay. And I do have the ability to work anywhere over the United States, as well as Puerto Rico and Guam. Okay. So you don't just have to be in Mississippi. When I meet with you to do your consultation, we do everything over Zoom. I send you a checklist prior to your appointment, so you at least know what information and documents to have pulled. If your income does meet the guidelines, then we go on and fill out the application. Now, the application is lengthy, which deters a lot of people from filling it out because it's a 30-page application. Okay. So that's why you have people like me who are loan packagers. Okay. My fee comes out of your loan. There's nothing that you pay me up front. Once I package or put together and finish your application, I then send it off to USDA. Depending on your location, it can take up to 6 weeks for you to hear back from USDA about approval or denial. Okay. Depending on your state and depending on the area in your state, the application process may, not the process, but the approval may go a little faster. It just depends on how many physical bodies they have there in the office going through the application. Okay. Cleveland used to have a USDA office and they used to have a loan officer here, but that lady has retired. So they pretty much route everything to Batesville, and then Batesville sends it to whatever local office is close to that person. So I think most of Cleveland's applications will go through Indianola. Okay. So if you qualify on the 502 side and you meet the income guidelines and requirements, I'll package your loan and, send it through USDA. Okay. If you are over the income guidelines, there are banks in Mississippi and other states that do what they call a USDA 504 guaranteed loan. Okay. The difference between that is the 504 loan, which you would have to go through the bank and do, your interest is 3.5 and it's fixed. Okay. It does not change. And your credit score has to be a 640. There is no wiggle room on that. Okay. With the 502, your interest loan is your interest is a 3.25, and I can work with a 575 to a 640. Okay. 504, 3.5, and you got to have a 640. Okay. So if you do not qualify for the 502, there are several banks and mortgage companies in the state that I can refer you to. I met with a young lady today, Emily Meredith, I believe is her name. She's the person that's responsible for regions, okay? And that's who you'd go through for regions for the 504 guaranteed. My desire is to put together people in a network, contractors, real estate agents, bankers, all of those things. So if you do not qualify for 502, and I can say, hey, do you bank with statewide? Okay, this is who you need to go talk to at statewide. Hey, do you bank with regions? This is who you need to go talk to at regions. Okay. So that's my desire. So even if I cannot help you on the 502 side, I still want to be able to point you in the right direction for the 504 guaranteed loan. Okay. Um, you do not have to build a home. I desire to build a home. That was my personal choice. You can buy an existing home or you can buy a newly built home, which is where the realtors would come in. So if you come in and say, hey, I don't want to go through that building process, I want to buy, I'll refer you to realtors who can, show you homes within that price range. Okay. There is no down payment required for this. Everything comes out of your loan. So I'll go back and tell a little bit of my story. 10 years ago, when I initially applied, I got approved for 137,000. Okay. So this was again 10 years ago. 137,000. Out of that 137,000, I got my house built for 125,000, and I paid 8,000 for my land. Okay.
Wow.
So all of that was included in my loan. The only out-of-pocket expense I paid was like when I bought my blueprints, and I used a company out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I highly recommend them. It's called houseplangallery.com. The reason I highly recommend them is because when you're going through the USDA process, there are certain sheets and certain stamps that your blueprints need to have. They did not give me any hassle about it. They went right on and stamped and gave me all of the documents that I need. So you will have to pay for your land to get surveyed. You will have to buy your blueprints. Depending on your blueprint, like I had a fireplace on my blueprint, a gas fireplace, so that was included in my cost. But let's give an example. Let's say with me and my contractor that I use, if he told me my allotted amount for my stove was $600, and I picked out a stove that I really loved and it was $950. Okay, I met him at Sears or wherever. He paid the six, I paid the $350, so I could get the stove that I wanted, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's up to you and your contractor on how they handle things. Okay. um so my monthly payment is escrowed. So like with my parents and most of our parents have to pay one lump sum of property tax a year and one lump sum of insurance a year. All of mine is in one lump. So when I pay my mortgage every month, that takes care of my property tax and my insurance. I don't have to go and pay extra. Okay. So that's in there. When I initially started out, my mortgage payment was $620 a month. Okay. I have a 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2 car garage, fully bricked in house. I'm sitting on 2 acres of land. Okay.
Jesus.
Um, and so the payment again was based off of my income at the time. Now, and that was because they do offer something called subsidy. So subsidy looks at how much your mortgage should be, how much can you afford based off of your income, USDA pays the subsidy, you pay the rest, if that makes sense. Okay. Right now, I'm not getting subsidy and I pay 820. Okay. That's the most my mortgage will ever be. But the reason I went through the process to build a home, one was to create generational wealth for my son. Now, at the time, I only had one son. And so I've never intended to stay in this house 33 years. I do have a
Yeah.
33-year mortgage. Okay. There is a 38-year mortgage that's optional. And when we're doing that income sheet, it'll tell you if you qualify for it. But I never intended to stay in this house forever, and I'm actually getting close to my timeline to be gone, so that I could use this house for a rental property. Okay. So that's my personal plan for this house, because if you live in Cleveland, you know a lot of things are based off of income, or the rent is extremely high. And so what I was going to be looking at paying for rent, I might as well have paid a mortgage. And so that was my decision to be able to build or either buy a home versus continuing to rent. There are some people who want to rent. They don't want the responsibility of being a homeowner. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not against it. But I knew for me personally, there were things that I wanted to be able to do, for my son at the time, and things that I wanted to be able to have, for my son at the time. And so there is not another loan packager, to my understanding, in the Mississippi Delta. There's one in like Tupelo, Memphis, Jackson, Hattiesburg, that kind of thing. So I am in the process of creating a team, across several states where we can service people in any area. Okay.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so Sabrina, if you paying 700 now for rent, you could definitely be paying that for your mortgage. I know some people who were paying like 450 for a mortgage with a house the size of mine. Okay.
Wow.
If you receive Section 8, there is a way that you can take your Section 8 voucher and go through the USDA process, and they will use that Section 8 voucher to buy or build you a home. Okay.
Listen.
And the thing about when you go through the process to buy a home, they're not going to let the house just be dilapidated and falling apart and things like that. Whoever is trying to sell the house, if there are things that need to be done, they're going to walk in and do an inspection. Either they're going to ask the homeowner to make those changes, or they're going to ask them to drop down the price. So you will have the money left in your loan to be able to take care of, the changes and renovations that may need to be done. Okay, Mr. Barksdale, Mr. Dr. Barksdale,
We
sorry, sir, you do not qualify
we not finna
for
play with
Section
him.
8. I'm sorry. Okay. And the reason that I started this,
Cause
y'all,
it's
is
good, ain't it,
because I
Barksdale?
remember driving past the expo one day, and the line was literally wrapped around the whole block almost twice. And I let my window down and I asked the girl, I said, girl, what they giving away? She was like, they giving away Section 8 vouchers, applications for Section 8 vouchers. And I've heard people say like how tedious that process is, how long you have to be on the waiting list, and things of that nature. And so that's when I made the post that said, hey, instead of doing a Section 8 voucher, I'm not knocking Section 8, but instead of doing a Section 8 voucher, do a USDA loan and build you a house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I am now, to be able to help bring affordable housing to the Mississippi Delta, and not just the Mississippi Delta, because I can work in any state. Okay. And we just do everything virtually. We sign documents and things of that nature. As the borrower, you do have to wet sign, actually put your signature on it and things like that. But that's my desire, to be able to create subdivisions around this area of people who are now homeowners, whether they've always wanted to be a homeowner and did not know the path to take, they never dreamed that they'd be able to own a home, and now that's made accessible and affordable to them, because we do not pursue things if we do not know. And
Right.
I've never
Right.
been one of those people to be like, well, girl, you got to find that out on your own. Okay. I've had several people come to me since I've been in my home, and I've helped them through the process. Okay. So now I'm actually in a position where my official title is a loan packager, so I can officially help people through the process.
Wow. Wow. First of all, let's just take that in. So listen, if you're in, and I got on my Mississippi shirt today. So if you're in the Mississippi Delta, first of all, and I know my guest last week was from here in San Antonio, and just again the steps that he gave to minimize the stress of buying a home was helpful. But if you're in the Mississippi Delta and you think that you can't buy a home, even the numbers, I don't know everybody's credit score, but the numbers I've heard, those are doable numbers. You know what I'm saying?
And
Nobody said
listen,
you had
when
to have
I
an
went through the
800.
process years ago, my credit score was a 530. Not because I had bad credit and I wasn't paying my bills, but there were things on my credit that had been there for years that were affecting negatively on my credit. Like, prime example, how sometimes you go to the doctor, you get an x-ray. Okay, well, the doctor send you a bill, the people who read the x-ray send you a bill, and then somebody else send you a bill. Well, you may not get that second and third bill, so now it's reflecting on your credit, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I had receipts showing, okay, hey, I've paid this, paid that, paid this, paid that. So they were able to put those receipts with my loan and package it to say, like, hey, she's paid this. And so what I did was I went and disputed those items on my credit to boost my credit up. But I had my receipt showing that the stuff had been paid off for years. It was just sitting negatively and reflecting negatively on my credit. Miss Mary
Wow.
Dorsey, if you have your own land already, I've never seen anyone do a mobile home with it. I'm not saying that it cannot be done. I will ask that question for you. Um, but if you have your own land already, so let's use me for an example. I got approved for 137. If I had my own land already, all 137,000 would have gone to the construction of my home. So if you already have your own land, that's a plus because you don't have to look for land and you don't have to take that cost out of your loan to pay for the land. So if you get approved for 200,000, you can build you a house for 185,000. Now you do want to leave that little buffer. I did pay my closing costs out of pocket because I was so close to my loan amount. If you are not close to your loan amount, your closing costs can potentially come out of your loan as well. Okay. But there are also grants and programs out there where there were at the time when I did it, that again were based off of your income that helped pay your closing costs for like first time homeowners and things like that. Sabrina, that's a good score, 685. Most people think that your credit score has to be like a 750 or 800 for you to be able to buy a home. No, what we want to see is that you have the credit score, you have good credit history, meaning you're paying your bills on time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're filing your taxes because this is taxpayers' dollars that is basically being fronted to you. Okay. And then that you can afford to pay the mortgage. Okay, so a
Wow.
685 is a good credit score because we have to 640 is ideal, but we can work with down to a 575.
Girl, get you a house bill, girl.
Get you a
Get
baby,
you a house
listen, get
bill.
you a house built. Get you a
Mhm.
house bill. I'm telling you. And to be able to walk into a home, something that you own, something that's yours, something that you don't have to worry about the landlord going up on the rent every
Yes.
month and they
Yes.
not fixing nothing. Okay. They not sending the handyman over to take care of your leaky faucet and you got water leaking on the floor and all of that kind of stuff. There's a difference. There's a different pride that comes with being a homeowner. It just sets you apart. And there's a different mindset shift that comes with being a homeowner. It's just different. I'm telling you, it's different.
They say it hit different. I
It
believe
hit
it.
different.
It hit different. I believe it and I'm here for it. And man, Talil, this is good stuff. Like Dr. Barstow said, like so many gems have been dropped. I don't even think I ever heard it in depth like this or even knew what this was or that this was even an option to buying a home. And to those that are in the Mississippi Delta again, like, and you say you can work everywhere. Well, let me finish
Yes,
my first
yes.
statement. To those
So
in the
as a
Mississippi
as
Delta,
an
don't sleep on yourself.
right.
Get you
So
a
even
house.
if you are not in Mississippi, like I did an application today with a lady in Oklahoma. Okay. So I can work with people anywhere, Puerto Rico and Guam. Okay. So as long as you're in the United States, Puerto Rico and Guam, I can work with you.
Wow. So for clarity, this program happens in the 50 states.
Yes.
So if you're in
Yes.
Texas, Memphis, wherever, and you need a loan
Yes.
packager for your USDA home, um, There you go. Here you go. So what are like high points? I know credit is one thing that you mentioned, what the credit score needs to be or what it could be.
A
What are some other
575 to a
things?
640.
575 to 640. So what are other
Mm-hmm.
some other high points people would need to know before
Um,
engaging in this process?
Making sure that you file your taxes for at least the last 2 years. Okay, so at least 2020 and 2021. Making sure that you have gainful employment so that you can show, proof of, income and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, let me see what is. It's a lot of stuff on the checklist. We do have to run a credit check and things like that. Making sure you have your check stubs, making sure you have a bank statement, proof of income, proof of residence, ID, making sure you have, your taxes filed and all of those things. So those are just the basics. Everything else, will be questions like, okay, who all is living in your house? How many people in your household? Anybody in your house a full-time student? Do you have any daycare expenses? Do you have, any elderly or disability people that are disabled that you're taking care of? Do you receive any social security or um alimony or child support or food stamps, anything like that. What I will encourage you is, if you're working with a loan packager, be honest as possible. Okay, be honest. So like for me, I could file my full-time job, but I also need to tell my businesses too, because basically what's going to happen when they pull this application, they are going to make sure it matches with USDA, with what we put on the application. Okay. How will already owning the land help me securing the USDA construction loan? So, Mr. Barksdale, basically, because you already own the land, you won't have to come out of your loan with that price for the land, if that makes sense. So an example, let's say the max you can get approved for in Mississippi is 336,000. Well, if you get approved, pre-approved for 336,000, but you want to buy a piece of land that's 25,000. So now you down to what, about 310,000 left to get your house built. But if you already own land that's big enough to hold a house that size, then you're back up to having your full amount to go strictly towards the construction of your home. Okay.
Good question,
What is
sir.
the best way to get an accurate credit score? I use Experian. Some people use Credit Karma. I used the website today for some of my students. Once class was over, honey, we pulled everybody's credit report in class. Listen, get over here and let me pull your credit report.
Right.
Okay. We paid $1 and then we went and changed the membership down to a free membership. Okay. But you need to know what's on your credit. And sad to say, this is just the truth. But I do believe that this age group that I'm in, like this 25 to 36, we are, me and one of my church members were talking about this the other day. There is a group of people who are arising to say, hey, this is not okay. Things are not comfortable. Okay. Whether it's financially, because let's be clear, a lot of people, mama, put, the cable bill in their name,
Hmm.
cell phone bill
Hmm.
in their name. That's just what they did back then, did not pay the bill. And so now you 2 years old with a bad cable
Hmm.
one bill, and so
Yeah.
that's on your credit. Okay.
Yeah.
But because that's on your credit, 9 times out of 10, like, you're gonna have to sue the person or prosecute the person who put that on your credit to prove that it was not yours, to get it off, or you just gonna have to pay it. Okay.
Wow.
Even when it comes to our mental health, we have to be okay with saying, listen, and people say it all the time, oh, this is just the way I am. No, that's just the way you choose to be. And while we realize that things that have happened to you in your life have helped shape you and
Hmm.
affect you in ways, does not mean that you get to be low down and dirty to people. It does not mean that you get to be nasty to
Talk
people.
about it.
Does not mean that we have to tolerate your nasty behavior. Things like that affect your mental health, because it
Hmm.
affects you wanting to be around people. Child, I don't want to fool with her because I'm not finna deal with it. I don't want to deal with it today. Okay, I ain't finna deal with it. But all of those things affect your mental health. Okay, knowing that your landlord is gonna go up on your rent every year, but your income is not increasing. Those things can play a part in your mental health, because now you're trying to get an extra job or do a
Mm-hmm.
little side hustle or selling food stamps on the side, something to come up with that difference to make sure that your bills are still being paid. Sabrina, I'm going to put my website in here, and you can go to my website and look for, you can just type USDA in the search bar. Okay. And you'll be able to book a consultation, and I'll send you that checklist. Now, my appointments have booked up pretty fast. If you want to get an appointment before I have an availability, I do have team members that I'm more than confident in that I can refer you out to. So if I send you, an appointment and you just be like, Miss Taliah, that's just too long for me to wait, I'm trying to get this ball rolling, I do have people that I can refer you out to, and all of us have trained together. Okay. But if you're not in a place mentally to be able to function and where your life is at peace, it makes it harder to do everything else. Like I
Mm-hmm.
described, my home is my place of peace. Okay. This got to be in order. Now, I ain't saying all the laundry always done. I ain't saying the floor always swept. I ain't saying it's always mopped. And baby, some days for breakfast, we eat Doritos and Oreos, and we ain't died yet.
I ain't died
Okay,
yet.
so I'm not saying that you have to have this perfect life or this model life, but this is my place of peace. This is where I come for sanity. This is where I come for comfort. This is where I come for love and affection. And if I do not have that here, it rocks and shifts everything else that's going on around me.
Yeah.
But when my home is in peace, babe, I'm the best mama. I'm the best friend. I'm the best sister. I'm the best business owner. I'm the best me because my home is at peace. And so we have to get to a place, and it takes time, but you have to get to a place where you decide what you no longer will and won't tolerate from people who are affecting your peace. And this whole thing about I'm going to be his peace, I'm going to be her peace. No, you need to be your own
Be your
peace,
own
because
people.
when he or she leaves, now you don't know how to create peace for yourself. Okay, so it's good to have somebody in your life who brings peace or balance to you, but you need to have peace for yourself within yourself, so that if that person ever decides to walk away, now
Still
you
got
ain't
peace.
in shambles.
Okay. You still got peace. You still got a
Okay.
home
And as
inside yourself.
mothers, we have to learn how to prioritize. Okay. But sometimes the laundry just ain't gonna get done. Do y'all got something clean to wear? Okay, let's roll. Okay. That does not make me a bad person. That does not make me less of a mother. But there were seasons in my life where I was tiring myself out because I felt like it got to be done today. If
Yeah.
I don't do this laundry today, it's gonna throw
Yeah.
off this, and this. Okay. But you have to get to a place where you say, you know what, babe, if I don't cook today, um
It'll be fine.
we ain't gonna die.
We ain't
And
gonna
I'm a
die.
chef, but my kids eat regular stuff. Baby, the other night we had chili cheese dogs and fries,
There you
and we
go.
went to bed just as happy. So we have to take this unrealistic expectation off of ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
stop letting people put these unrealistic expectations on us, because then we're constantly striving for a perfection that does not exist.
Wow.
Baby, some of us got to learn the word no. Baby, if I don't want to go, no. Is you coming? Can you help me? I ain't coming. I
Amen.
ain't going. I
Amen
ain't finna
again.
do. But I go in there and get in there. And the way my house set up, if ain't no lights on in here and these garage doors down, but you can't even tell we here. And me and my boys being here eating some popcorn, watching movies, and just as happy because we don't be want to be bothered.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
have to create a place of peace and a place of sanctity for yourself. Because as much as I deal with on a daily basis in life and in the world, I have to have a place of peace where I can come and recharge so that I can go out and handle it again. Because
There
if
you go.
not, you're going to start having meltdowns, breakdowns, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. All of that stuff comes because we are not balanced and we do not have a place of peace where we can recharge.
Yep.
Okay. And
Wow.
let me say this, Black people don't believe in going to therapy.
Come on with it. Come
We
on with
feel
it.
like it's something wrong with you because you're going to therapy. Now, listen, babe, I'm going to go to church and I'm going to ride by Shabbat with the best of them.
You
But, baby,
understand?
sometimes y'all got to, because I have a therapist, we got to go and sit on somebody's sofa and talk about this stuff that has happened to us or the stuff that we're going through and the stuff that we're dealing with. And, baby, if the people tell you you need some medicine, babe, take the medicine.
Take the medicine.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with you because you getting prayer and therapy and medicine. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with you because you getting prayer and a pill. Nothing.
Get that prayer and the pills.
Nothing. Because some of us need a prayer and some pills.
And
Okay.
some pills. Prayer and
Some
pills.
pills. Now, some of us just taking one, but some of us need some pills. But some
Prayer
of the
and some
stuff that
pills.
we're carrying is so
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
And we've been taught that, oh, you gotta be strong, you gotta be this, you gotta be that. No, no, I don't. No, I don't. And I don't got to pretend like it's okay.
There
And
you
I
go.
don't just got to let you be nasty or rude to me. No, I don't. And
Talk
so, baby, if
today.
you feel like you need therapy and you feel like the people around you are not a safe place for you to go, baby, get you a therapist and
Get you
get
a
you a
therapist.
prayer on Sunday and a pill and take your medicine.
Oh,
Now,
I'm so
they were
tickled at
free.
that prayer and
I'm through.
pill.
They were free.
You come on, extra credit. I'm here for the extra
Listen,
credit. Prayer and pills. Listen, I don't know what part of this you came in on, and if you've been here from the beginning, you already know. Listen, if you're in the market for buying a home, for creating a place of peace, of sanity, right? A safe place for yourself and your family. She's giving out the resources. She's giving out her link in the comments on how to contact her. And guess what? You don't have to just be in Mississippi, right? All 50 states, you can get a USDA loan and start the home buying process. You don't even have to wait till your credit score is at 800. You can get it starting at a 540, right?
575 to a 640.
575 to a 640, right? So if you got anything above a 640, you on your way. But go ahead, like she said, it's a change in the mindset. Let yourself know that you deserve a place of peace. Let yourself know that you deserve to be at home. And you said something about the stuff that we carry and what we're growing, that happened to us. Some of us are fighting things that was said to us, said about us, and said around us when we were children. And you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're still fighting that same battle. That could be, and it seems minute to somebody. Well, that could be what's stopping you from changing your mindset, shifting your mindset, and agreeing with yourself that you deserve a home for yourself at whatever age and stage you're in life. So that's the purpose of the Light Room. We bring people in this space who are resourceful. And like I told y'all, I'm just here so I don't get fired today, right? She came with all the fire. She came already ready. So it affects your mental health when you don't have a safe place in the place that you reside in. And if home is not safe, if home is not good, then work is not safe, school is not safe, no place that you go outside of that is safe. So this is vital, this is important. If that's been a part of your struggle for your mental health, reach out to Taliah. Like she said, if she can't do it, she has a highly trained, qualified team of people who can support you. And in this, I know sometimes people, well, I like to work with who I heard about it from. Well, I like to work with this certain person. The lady just said they were all trained and they're qualified. So if she refers you to them, then they can work. But please mind your attitudes. How long is the process to live? Because I know sometimes, people can get antsy.
So if you have your documents and everything ready, like once we know that your, income is supported to be able to prove, once we get your loan ready from the time we submit it to the time you hear something could take about 6 weeks. Okay. That again just depends on your state, maybe the city in that state, and how much application traffic that particular office is getting, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like me and my team are saying, okay, now once we do your application, that's it, you going on about your business. No, we're still here to help you, or either check on your application and things of that nature within our realm of what we can do. Okay. But typically, once the time we physically complete everything and hand it off, okay, it could take up to 6 weeks for you to hear something. But whoever you make your appointment with, whether it's me, somebody on my team, whether you go with a loan packager from another company, okay, have your documents and stuff ready. Okay. If they don't send you a checklist, ask for a checklist so you can know what to have. That way it's not a lot of back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I got the check stubs and okay, I'm gonna get this. So by the time you get the next thing, now you need new check stubs, new
Mm-hmm.
bank statements. Come ready. Okay, come ready. If your appointment is in November, then you need September and October bank stubs and check statements. You get what I'm saying? So have your stuff ready. That way, once they verify your income and your credit score, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so Miss Mary, well, if you go to my website and click the link on my website, and it says $0, so you actually physically have to go through it because my website sees it as like you're paying for an item, but there is no charge. But physically go through it like you're processing an order, you know, when it tells you your order is complete. After you've done that, I will send you a checklist. I don't necessarily send you an application because I don't want you to get overwhelmed because it is 30 pages, okay? But I will send you that checklist. But my job as a loan packager is to help coach you through that application. So I'll, you know, like today on Zoom, the lady was giving me her information, showing me her documents. I'm filling it out as we're going. Okay. So that's my job, to try to make your process a little smoother to get you through it, because a lot of people are deterred. Y'all know when you fill out a application on Indeed, baby, and they ask
You
you
gotta
your
ask all them
information and
questions.
they ask you to attach your resume. And
Get it
after
from
you
the
attach
resume.
your resume, then you got to go and fill out everything that's on the resume. In
Same.
my mind, like, babe, why y'all just won't get it off the resume? Okay,
Transfer the info.
so a lot of
Transfer.
times the smallest things deter us from getting to the next level or reaching our breakthrough. So, baby, I don't even want my people to get overwhelmed
Wow.
with filling out 30 pages of stuff. Let me handle it. That's what I'm for. I'll send you the checklist and your appointment time, and we go from there.
Wow. Gotta have that determination. You know why you're there. Man, I ain't gonna even try to add too much more to it because I mean she already told y'all what y'all needed to hear. Okay. And thank you, Taliah, again for being available for this space, for bringing this information in this space. Like I said,
No problem.
not last year, last week, we had a realtor in this space and he dropped some gems as well on the home buying process and letting people know upfront what you need before you reach out to get the process started. And then we have you here today for those who would like to use the USDA loan to get the housing. You're letting us know what you need to do. And from the both of y'all, that it's possible, right, to own a home. And I know sometimes the fact that it's a 30-year mortgage would deter people. It's like, I don't want to have to pay for a house for 30 years. Where if you don't own a home,
this
you're
is
going to pay rent for
this is
30
the
years.
thing, but this is the thing, there are ways, and if people are on here a homeowner now, so there are ways that you can knock that 30 years down. Mine is 33, but there is a 38-year option with this new program, but there are ways that you can knock that down faster. So let's say with my current mortgage, once a year, okay, I call in and you pick the same time every year. Okay, so let's say you're gonna do February or March because that's when people get their taxes. Okay, so every year in March, you should call in and pay your mortgage payment. Okay, you turn around maybe a week later and call in with the same amount and tell them to apply that amount directly to your principal. And that cuts your mortgage in half by years, but you have to be consistent at doing it. Okay. Or let's say at the time you're dating somebody and you're the only person on the application. Okay. If you both can afford it, you call in and pay your mortgage on the 15th. Let him call in and pay the same amount or half of that on the 23rd and tell them to apply it directly towards the principal. But you have to be consistent in doing that. And it's people been renting for 30 years and they don't have nothing to show for it. And when the landlord gets ready to sell, baby, you up and out.
You got to go. Yep. You
You
got to
gotta
go.
go. And you think about it, if you have paid $600 a month for 30 years, that's $7,200 a year. You have roughly paid $216,000, I do believe, staying in an apartment. So you have made that landlord $216,000.
And y'all see why people get into real estate?
Listen,
The money's in there, right? The money's in there.
baby, the money is there.
The money is
Okay.
in there.
And so that's why people are starting to flip houses and things like that too. But it has to be a desire that you have, and it has to be bigger than you. And a lot of times we give up on our dreams and we give up on things we want because we let other people talk us out of things. And we let people talk us out of stuff because they're afraid and because they have never accomplished it.
Keep that note.
And so we have to get to a place where we stop letting people talk us out of things that we desire and things that God desires for us to have because they've never dreamed that big. I had so many people, and I really didn't even talk to people about my process when I was going through it. My parents didn't even know I was going through the process until we cleared the land and put the dirt on my property. And I have an aunt that stays down the street.
Wow.
And we passed by here all the time, going to my aunt's house, and nobody knew that this was mine. And I loaded my parents in the car one day. I said, I got somewhere I want to take y'all. And I brought them over here. And my dad's like, what we doing over here? I said, this is mine. I bought it and I'm building a home here. But so many people had something negative to say. Well, you too young, and why you need all that land, and why you need all that house, and da 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 da. People who were not contributing and did not know my story of why I was wanting to build. And so we have to get to the place where our goals and our dreams are non-negotiable. It may take us a little longer to get there, but it ain't because we'll let some old joker talk us out of what we want.
Amen to that. Amen.
So we have to get to that place where they are non-negotiable. Okay, so for the home repair, Miss Mary, there are conditions for the home repair. So the home has to be deemed like unsafe. It has to be a health hazard or a safety hazard. They still have to go through the same process. Hey, Shannon, open the door, please. They still have to go through the same process, but the house has to be deemed like unsafe or a health hazard or a safety hazard for the person that's living there. But it's the same application process as well.
Wow. So, quick recap, guys. 502 loans for the USDA home ownership, where you can buy a home or have a home built, right? Land included into the process if that's how you want to do it. She talked about where your credit score needs to be. And even dropped her link in the comments on how to reach out to her for the checklist that you'll receive. And like she said, it's like you're ordering something. So it's a $0 fee. Go ahead and go through the process to where it says complete. And that's how you're going to get the checklist from her. So you'll know what you need to do to show up for this process. And all the other 5 gems that she gave us about, not giving up on your dreams, going after what you want and God's desire for you. If somebody's not contributing to your process, you definitely shouldn't let them subtract from it. Okay. So if you just joined in or you joined in midways, I highly encourage you, if you're looking to buy a home now or later, to go ahead and watch this whole live back so that you can get the information from start to finish, so that whenever you're ready, you already know how to go into it. With this information, I encourage us all to go ahead and jump on it. If you don't already own a home and you've been thinking about it, praying about it, wondering, then here you are. You've had 2 people to come already in the month of October to affirm to you it is possible for you to buy a home. It is possible for you to buy a home. And if it's not possible right now, they've given you what you need to work on to start moving towards it being possible for you. I got my blueprints a few weeks ago. I need to schedule my appointment with you.
No problem. Now, Dr. Barksdale, I'm already gonna tell you who you and other Dr. First Lady Barksdale gonna have to go through. But I can give you that lady's information because I'm pretty sure y'all gonna have to go through them.
There you go.
But
and we see that we got
still
something for
work with you,
everybody.
Dr. Barksdale.
We got something for everybody, including you, Dr. Barksdale. But I do appreciate, again, you all being here, and I appreciate you, Taliah, for taking time. The list you called off in the beginning of all the things that you do, kudos, hats off, gloves off, shoes off. Okay? Some days you need to take your shoes off, but thank you for showing up in every space that you show up in. And I absolutely appreciate you for showing up in this space, sharing the wisdom and the knowledge that you have for those who are interested in buying homes and building that village. that you talked about, especially in the Mississippi Delta. That's where I'm from, so I am all for building up and giving back and sustaining that which we have. Um, oh, he said he's serious. We got you, Mr. Boxdale. Click the link, Mr. Boxdale, so you can
Click the
get
link.
the info for your blueprint, sir. Click the link. We got something for you too. So, are there any final questions before I let her go? Because the lady needs rest, man. Uh-oh. I don't know if I did that or she did that. See, she needs rest. I don't know if I did that or she did that. But if you have any additional questions or anything like that, her link is in the comment section here. Yeah, her link is in the comment section here. Go ahead and click the link. Like I said, she said it's going to look like you're ordering the application process or the checklist. Go ahead and go through that whole process where it comes out as complete, and then she can send you the checklist so you'll know what you need. If you need to write prayer scriptures on top of the paper that you're working from, if you need to look up some motivational quotes or whatever and keep you encouraged and motivated through this process, because I know when you're excited, it's difficult to not share it with people that you love and you think love you and all of that, and they may have good intentions, right? But sometimes when it's something that God wants you to do or something next level for you, everybody don't have to see it. Everybody can't see it. And so to protect the integrity of that relationship and what you have growing, just do what you need to do to keep yourself motivated. She told you what credit score that you can even start with and what they can work with. So the higher, the better, of course, but be encouraged. She talked about how important it is to have a safe haven in your home. I 100% agree with that. All right. So if there are no other questions, again, her information is in the comments. She has a website in here. You can click on the link to get whatever you need. Schedule those consultations to get your questions asked, right? You may not be ready today, but go ahead and get your questions asked. So go ahead and click the link, schedule a consultation, share this live with people who may have needed to be on here and they didn't get a chance to get on here. This information is always going to be available. I do not delete the live, so at any time they can come back and watch and hear what she had to say. Again, this has been finances and mental health, because when your money ain't right, your home ain't right, your mental health is not right. So this has been finances and mental health 2.0. We've talked about housing for the past 2 Mondays. And the next couple of Mondays, I'm really excited. I got some heavy hitters that's coming up for the next 2 Mondays, and we're talking about covering your families. And I know life insurance is a tough topic for a lot of people. In September, I had a couple of people who work in the life insurance industry, but they came into the Light Room for financial literacy purposes. And so even reach back out to them if you will. But for the next coming Mondays, I have some people who are going to talk about, and I know one person for sure is going to talk about covering your families with life insurance. Of course, it's not for you. You're going to die, right? But when you die, you're going to leave children, a spouse, somebody behind. That money is for them. Okay, that's for the next generation and the next generation. Like she mentioned about building generational wealth. It's time for us to consider ourselves first. It's time for us to prepare for the lifestyle that we've been praying for, right? That we've been shouting all over the church for. It's time for us to honestly believe that we can receive that which God has for us. There have been people in this space who have given you solid information for free, for absolutely free. It's up to you to apply the knowledge that you have. This has been the Light Room. Again, I'm going to post a link to my evaluation, right? I really need the feedback on how you've been receiving this space as it grows, as it changes, as it develops. So please complete that evaluation. I am reading the comments. Thank you to the people who have submitted their responses already. I have read it, and I appreciate it. It gives me directions for um, the next segment, the next portion of Mental Health Mondays. I'm going to post the link again tonight on my page. Takes a few seconds to go ahead and give me that feedback. All right. I love y'all. Be good to yourself. Drink plenty of water. Rest well tonight.